Welcome to the School of Global Studies hooding ceremony to honor our Spring 2023 Master of Science in Global Studies degree candidates and our Global Issue Certificate recipient. Thank you for being with us tonight as we celebrate these 9 students. We look forward to the impact they will undoubtedly make as they embark on the next chapter of their lives as global problem solvers. We will begin our ceremony with a few opening remarks from the Associate Provost and Dean of the School of Global Studies, Dr. Randy Kluver.
Thank you, Bailey. Welcome to everybody here tonight. We're very pleased to have you here. We're very pleased to have this event, recognition of our graduates. My name is Randy Kluver. It's my privilege to serve as Associate Provost of OSU Global and the Dean of the School of Global Studies. We especially want to welcome our esteemed Representative Trish Ranson, who is with us tonight. We welcome as well the faculty who have contributed to the education of our students, and so grateful that you're here. We're also very happy for the families. You have provided immeasurable support for the students, and they could not make it without you. So we're very, very excited to have you here, and I'll have some remarks at the end. But before we get into that, I would like to invite our guest speaker, Representative Trish Ranson. Representative Ranson was born in Wichita, Kansas, and she's welcome in Oklahoma anyway. She attended Wichita State University, where she earned her bachelor's degree in music education, and went on to get her graduate degree from Oklahoma State University. Trish and her husband Andrew, who currently works in the Center for International Trade Development, have 2 children and live in Stillwater. Trish was an educator in the Stillwater School District before she ran for representative. Was that 5 years ago? And is doing a marvelous job representing the 34th District of Oklahoma. She's currently in her 3rd term. Please welcome Representative Ranson.
Well, thank you, Dean Kluver, for your introduction and for the invitation to speak today. Good afternoon. I'm Trish Ranson, State Representative for House District 34, right here in the heart of Stillwater. So welcome to my district. Let me congratulate you on your accomplishments, and as an OSU alum myself, welcome you to the club. Preparing for today's address, I found myself reflecting on my own educational journey. Just 13 years ago, I was preparing for my graduation with a master's in music. I remember being in your seat, worried that they made a mistake. I failed my last final, I forgot an assignment, or did I take all the classes I was required to? Surely, they're going to turn me away. But let me assure you that that did not happen then, and it's not happening now. You've done the work, and we are here to celebrate you. As an elected official, there is no education requirement. Good or bad, there just isn't. But before I was Stillwater's rep, I was the music teacher at Westwood Elementary. For 15 years, students were singing and dancing with Mrs. Ranson. And for the bulk of those years, we were the international school in Stillwater. We would regularly receive new students who, coming to school, was their first exposure to English. The new student would always be paired with a buddy to help them navigate their new school home. And as the music teacher meeting a new student for the first time, their buddy would often exclaim, "Mrs. Ranson, they don't know English." Which my response would be, "Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do." And ultimately, the new student's face would light up. They would smile, and they would nod. Music has a way to transition language barriers. Music has a way of uniting us, and I used it as a way to accept new students into school. By attending OSU, we have all adopted a shared set of norms known as the Cowboy Code. That transcends barriers and focuses us on how we are more similar than different through our choices, our actions, and our commitments to one another. Being a cowboy isn't in our clothes, it's in our character. And we dream only as big as the sky. which means your educational journey began with a dream and resulted in your many accomplishments. You came to OSU for a reason. You sought out this program for a reason. And each and every one of you would probably have different reasons for doing so. My reason for getting my master's was simple. I wanted a pay raise. As a public school teacher, the only way you can earn more is by adding years of experience or gaining further education. Regardless of the reason, the benefits of furthering my education actually outpaced my earnings. So, what do I mean by that? Well, finishing my master's did get me a pay bump, which was nice. Although insurance pretty much took it, but that's okay. But more importantly, it boosted my confidence. When folks would question me about what I do, I spoke with authority. After all, I'm a master in music. So that translated to being able to speak with authority in other realms, like public education, health, families. When I made the decision to run for elected office, I already had practice speaking about values and priorities. It was a natural transition for me. You will experience similar results. You are a master of global studies. When people ask you what you do, you will speak with authority. The more you practice that, the more people will regard you as a leader, a global leader at that. You don't have to enter the political field. You can if you want to. But you can and should be a community leader wherever you find yourself. Today's celebration of your accomplishments is merely the ending of a chapter in your life story. You have gained so many benefits through knowledge, friendships, connections, that you have now laid a strong foundation to a life where you will continue to be a lifelong learner. My job as a state legislator requires me to know a little bit about a lot of different topics and take that, what I know, and speak it with authority. Now, thousands of bills each session, constituent questions, and meeting with other state leaders, that can be daunting on even a good day. But what I've learned is that everything is connected. For instance, the economy is not a standalone entity. The economy is affected by climate, both natural and political, by the education level and overall health of the people who participate, by its relationship to other state and national economies. It's all connected. Every time I learn something new, I find out there's more to learn. Luckily for me, I'm an educator and a fierce lifelong learner. I find joy and excitement through learning something new, and I don't fear questions. I'm happy to answer them, and I'm committed to asking them. That came from my educational journey. You have a similar journey. Higher education trains us to question, to compare, to analyze, and then to formulate our thoughts into a coherent position. Leaders across the globe need to use these skills in order to best represent the interests of their people. You have been prepared to be that global leader, and you can be a voice for others when you start with your understanding of this world. I have a quote on my wall that reads, "The greatest response to ignorance, apathy, or fear is education." The issues and problems I encounter on a daily basis can be attributed to ignorance, apathy, and fear. We live in a world where ignorance controls, apathy divides, and fear sells. Don't believe me? Well, when was the last time you had a political conversation? Probably a long time ago, or never. The number one response I hear when speaking to voters is, "I don't know much about politics." When I dig into that comment and question them further, 9 times out of 10, they mean, I don't know much about government. That I can fix because I'm an educator. Ignorance controls what we talk about, it controls our abilities to think outside the box, and it further limits innovation. As an educator in the arts, I use basic musical constructs of melody and rhythm to stretch my students' knowledge from unknown to known. As an elected official, I do the same with those around me. What unknown can be known, and how can we keep discussion going? Now, apathy is a byproduct to an insulated life. We as humans are self-centered, just naturally. Add to that extremely busy, and apathy can grow. By engaging with people from different backgrounds and cultures, we can keep apathy from dividing us. Your involvement in global studies is a practice in keeping apathy at bay. You make a difference in the lives of those here in Stillwater and at OSU. Fear is real, trust me. Marketers use fear to sell their products. If you watch television for any length of time, you'll see ads for prescription drugs, weight loss products, beauty and exercise to keep your youthful appearance. And during election season, oh Lord, you will see ads that will influence you to vote one way for fear of what will happen if you don't. But fear is short-sighted. Experience and an educated eye help us to see past the fear and strive for the positive. Through your understanding and your studies of how the world works, you are positioned to make a difference. For years, I taught kids about life, kindness, compassion, and history through music. Children have amazing insight. They have immense capacity for love, acceptance, and compassion. Although it's not always automatic, it can be taught. Taking that natural, self-centered view of humans and teaching how to look beyond self, to see others and treat others as they would want to be treated themselves, was a highlight of my time in the classroom. Doing so while creating music and a musical community was a natural fit. I often challenged them to be the change they wish to see in the world. When deciding to run for office, I heard my own words repeated back to me. I wish to see a better Oklahoma where our students thrive, where families can flourish, where we can have an open dialogue about issues that matter to us and then work together to find solutions. It was a struggle at first. Trust me, and some days it's still a struggle. In my old job, I was surrounded by children all day, every day. Now I work in a world of grown-ups.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It was a bit daunting. Will I be able to connect? I mean, grown-ups know better. What I've learned is that grown-ups are children, just taller. We have big emotions, wants, needs. We say things before thinking. We allow what we don't know and what we fear to control us. But we can learn. We still have an immense capacity for love, acceptance, and compassion. But what we need is individuals to step up to lead. Again, you are in a prime position to assume that role and lead your family and your community. And it doesn't have to be running for office or saving a family from a burning building or diverting a runaway train or anything big like that. It's the little things you do daily. The encouraging words, the helping hand, volunteering in your community, being a listening ear. All of these small actions make a big impact and grow your network. Now, I understand that network, the term, is often referred to as a business term, and it makes us think of it as an inanimate object. On the contrary, your network is a living entity. It is comprised of the people you spend your days with. My family moved to Oklahoma in 2003. Yes, I was born in Wichita, but I grew up in Ponca City, so I am a lifelong Oklahoman. But my husband and I were living in Connecticut. Both of our children were born in Stamford. And in 2003, we moved back to Oklahoma because my father took ill. We were only going to move here for a year. That was 20 years ago. My father's health improved. It was a miracle because the grandkids were close. Both my parents passed away about 10 years ago. Once all their affairs were settled, we thought about moving back to Connecticut. But we realized that we had planted roots. The everyday activities of living and working and raising a family in Stillwater created a network of roots that could not be ripped up. So ultimately, we decided to stay. 5 years ago, with the teacher walkout, came a moment of discernment for me and realized that the roots that I had planted in Stillwater, the network that I had created and was created around me, it was my opportunity to bloom. So that's why I decided to run, to better represent the family and the community that I love. College is a unique experience and a place for growing your network. The people we come across in class, at the library, on the job, in study groups can be lifelong friends. Instructors can become lifelong mentors. You may move away. Your life may take a turn where you no longer spend your time with these folks regularly, but they are still a part of your network. Our network, knowing them has changed you, and knowing you has changed them. So our network has no geographical bounds. I have friends across the globe that I am still in touch with through holiday cards and social media. They keep me with a balanced view of my small world here in Oklahoma in comparison to the big global community. I have traveled to see where they call home, and by doing so have come to a better understanding of their lived experiences. I also see how much our cultures are similar, how the people in those cultures want the same things. That living across the world from one another doesn't make us at odds. As we continue to grow our neighborhood in a global fashion, we need to keep our eyes open to those similarities, to extend our network past those we went to school with, to learn from one another. And then if we plant roots, that we bloom. But it all begins with I. 26 years ago, my husband and I attended an engaged workshop in preparation for our wedding. In that course, we learned how to share our thoughts and feelings through I statements. This use of starting sentences with I want, I need, I feel, or I will has saved us from the many potential arguments through our 25 years of marriage. The use of I statements keeps the dialogue focused and avoids blame. Using I statements with each other is always a good diplomatic approach. It fosters conversation, it engages the participants, and can create a connection. But I statements can also be used in our internal dialogue. How many conversations have we had with ourselves where we're not good enough, we failed, and it's all our fault? Please tell me I'm not alone. Otherwise, I'm just exposing my greatest fears to you. But when embarking on a new job, a new town, a new day, start with, I will do my best today. I will finish what I start. I will help others and do what is right, even if it's hard. I will stand for what matters, even if it means I stand alone. These are a few I statements that get me started each day. And surprisingly enough, they just happen to be part of the Cowboy Code. In conclusion, as fellow members of the OSU alumni, ALUMNI, we celebrate your accomplishments. We urge you to remain curious and be a lifelong learner. Take your understanding of this world and continue to challenge those around you for change, making a difference in small and big ways through your leadership and civic involvement. Use your network to grow your influence and inspire others to join you in living the Cowboy Code. And it all begins with I. Put your I statements to work for a better life, a better community, a better world. And remember, you are the change you want to see in this world. And always be loyal and true. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Ranson. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come speak those words of encouragement to our students. I would like to introduce our next speaker. The Student Association of Global Affairs, referred to as SAGA, is the student-run organization at OSU dedicated to fostering activities that complement students' coursework related to international topics and promoting the School of Global Studies mission across our campus. SAGA has an elected executive team, and every year we invite the president of SAGA to address the graduating class. At this time, I would like to welcome the 2022-2023 SAGA president, Mitchell Wolf.
Gotcha. Thank you, Bailey. I'd just like to take the opportunity to speak to you all briefly. Hello and good afternoon. My name is Mitchell Wolf, and I am the outgoing president of SAGA. I'm just really excited to be here today. Sorry, I'm jittery. No, it's awesome. Representative Ranson, it was a great speech, and it's going to be a little tough to follow, but I appreciate that.
No comparison.
No, working, I have the luxury of working in undergraduate admissions, and I think you used every quote that we used to recruit here, so I'm a little bit out. I'm out of words. But no, as I reflect on this afternoon, I'd just like to, say thank you to the School of Global Studies for allowing me to, enter the program and then have the opportunity to serve our students and to, enable all the students here graduating today the opportunity to get, graduate degrees and certificates. It's been truly an honor to be here the last 2 years. As I continue, I'd like to thank my emotions weren't in the practice. I'd like to thank my parents and my family for being here. I'd like to thank my girlfriend. I'd like to thank all my friends that are here supporting me, but also, and more importantly, thank you to every family member, friend, co-worker who has supported everyone on the stage here. On the stage, I don't know where I am. Everyone that's come here to support these graduates today. Can I give a round of applause from our graduates to everyone in the stands? And thank you for the support of not just my cohort, but my friends for helping myself get through these past 2 years. It's been, I had the luxury of, getting to choose where I went, and this was the right place. And I'm very grateful to have ended up here with such great people and great faculty and staff that have supported me through this. Enough of that. We're going to get the emotions out. Now, when asked to do a speech today, my first thought was, oh shoot. But of things I thought I could reflect on today is, like I said, I have the opportunity to speak to students in undergraduate admissions. So as some of us are ending our academic time, I get the opportunity to welcome some of their first times as students here at OSU into school in general. And one of the things that my team and myself talk about at every orientation when we see students is your why. That why you're going to school, whether that's you're going after your dream job, you love school, but what drives you in your gut. And I think it's an interesting thing to reflect on now as we walk across the stage, not in a college setting, but eventually going out into the workforce, or some of us pursuing more degrees. God help you. But I wanted to talk about my why, and maybe this is something that can help others figure out their why. My why comes from a place in me where I really want to serve other people. I want to serve my community, and I want to help people. And some of the things that help me get out of bed and inspire me come from one of my favorite public figures, President Josiah Bartlett from the TV show The West Wing. I get a lot of laughs, and I get a little awkward eyes whenever I bring up that that's the figure who inspires me, because I know there's plenty of figures that could. But part of it is because of how The West Wing is written. When we think of a figure as a president or a world leader, it's easy to think of terms, or if a writer was writing this, well, we can make them strong. We can make them always right. This is the ideal leader we want to be. But if you watch the show on HBO Max, I love it, I'm going to promote it, you'll quickly find that Josiah Bartlett is not perfect. He's a flawed individual, and he doesn't know everything. But what the writers do is they bring out his best qualities, but what they bring out, they also reflect is how we should work as a society, is that Josiah Bartlett surrounds himself with a cabinet of diverse people. He has his strengths of where he listens, he's empathetic, and he's willing to admit when he's wrong. And he allows his team of people to help guide him and the country through many scenarios throughout the show. And everything would have been fixed if he was real. I'm playing. But there's two quotes that help me get up in the morning when I talk about my why. They come from The West Wing. I have them hanging in my bedroom. When I wake up, I see them every day. The first one is, decisions are made by those who show up. As someone who has studied this and wanted to work in global issues for quite some time, I'm sure some of my friends and faculty and staff can relate, is that when you're at a sporting event or out in town and people hear what you want to do, they say, oh, this is everything that's wrong with the world, and everyone else has all the answers. But the key thing is that most of those people who say that are coming from the outside. They're the fans in the stands. They're not the people on the field working hard and trying to fix things. So credit to everyone here who's taken that first step or steps after that, who really wants to work in the field, because it's by you showing up how things are going to get finished and fixed. And then the other one is what's next. That's a driving quote for me. Anytime I'm through my hardest task or even my smallest task, I think to myself, what's next? What's the next thing we can achieve? What's the next thing that needs to get done? Who else can I help and support? And so that's a driving thing. So I know I talked about me for a little bit, but I hope that this is a reminder or something that can awake something inside of y'all if you're searching for that thing in your gut that gets you up in the morning. You can also look at the Cowboy Code. That's a perfect example of things that can help you get motivated. I almost used the Cowboy Code quote. It's I'll stand up for what's right even if I stand alone. It's whatever those are. I think that's going on my door next. But in conclusion, congratulations to our graduates. Thank you to family, friends, faculty, staff that are here, and go Pokes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mitchell. Now we're going to start the hooding portion of our ceremony. At this time, we will recognize our degree candidates by hooding each of them to signify their success in completing the Master of Science in Global Studies and recognize our Global Issues Certificate recipient. As they walk back to their seats, they will receive two gifts from the School of Global Studies. One is a copy of Charles Chick Dumbach's book titled Exhaust the Limits, The Life and Times of a Global Peace Builder. Chick is an OSU alum. Him and his friends started a fellowship for global studies students. Chick's career has been built on peace building, and that's what his book is about. The other gift is a School of Global Studies branded passport cover. Our first student is Anahita Badkube Hezave. Anahita is from Iran, and she has a bachelor's degree in industrial engineering and socioeconomic systems. During her time in the School of Global Studies, Anahita did an internship with an international coffee company located in Ethiopia. She worked in the company's export department. Anahita received the Les Martin Endowed Graduate Fellowship in the Humphreys Long-Term Travel Grant. Anahita served as the Saga Vice President. She is being hooded by Dr. Amy Malik. Anahita. Our next student is Bakr Zaki. Bakr is from Iraq. He earned his bachelor's degree in English education from the University of Mosul. Okay. During his time in the program, Bakr was inducted into the Epsilon Upsilon chapter of the Phi Beta Delta Honor Society for International Scholars. Bakr will be doing an internship with Tulsa Global Alliance. After graduation, Bakr plans to continue his work in diplomacy. Bakr is being hooded by Dr. Jamie Fullerton. Our next graduate is Benazir Nourzad. Benazir is from Afghanistan. She earned her bachelor's degree in international relations from the American University of Central Asia. Benazir is a Fulbright scholar. During her time in the School of Global Studies, she completed an internship with the Sparrow Project, helping Afghan refugees resettle. After graduation, Benazir plans to continue work helping refugees in rebuilding their lives. Benazir is being hooded by Dr. Jamie Fullerton. Our next graduate is Ellie Eshraki. Ellie is from Iran. She received her bachelor's degree in human geography from Islamic Azad University. Ellie works in the Center for International Trade Development. During her time in the program, she earned the Sidwell Family Scholarship and the Les Martin Distinguished Graduate Fellowship. Ellie is being hooded by Dr. Martin Brennan. The next graduate is Jose Jimenez. Jose is from Mexico. Well, oh, I know. Oh, you guys sat in the wrong order, so I was going off this. I forgot that was up there. Okay, we'll just go back. Okay, we're gonna go to Forrest. Our next graduate is Forrest Hare. Forrest is from Norman, Oklahoma and Beijing, China. He earned his bachelor's degree in political science from the University of Oklahoma. During his time in the program, Forrest completed an internship at Purdue's Center on Religion and Global East, where he helped create digital content and strategize for social engagement. Forrest is being hooded by Dr. Martin Brennan. Okay, now our next graduate is Jose Jimenez. Jose is from Mexico. He earned his bachelor's degree in automotive design engineering from UPAEP. He is also a double degree recipient from UPAEP. While in the School of Global Studies, Jose was the recipient of the Wes and Lou Watkins Distinguished Graduate Fellowship, and he also earned the Cole Ham Scholarship. Jose is being hooded by Dr. Martin Brennan. Our next graduate is Michael Johnson. Michael is from Houston, Texas. He earned his bachelor's degree in political science from Baylor University. Michael is a graduate assistant in the Wes Watkins Center for International Trade Development. During his time in the program, Michael received the Larry L. Boger Distinguished Graduate Fellowship and completed an internship with Raytheon Technologies. Michael is being hooded by Dr. John Schoeneman. Our next graduate is Mitchell Wolf. Mitchell is from Battle Creek, Michigan. He earned his Bachelor's of Science in Political Science from Hardin-Simmons University. While being in the School of Global Studies, Mitchell served as SAGA president. Mitchell will continue to stick around Stillwater in his new role in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions. Mitchell is being hooded by Dr. John Schoeneman. Our next student is a recipient of the Global Issues Certificate, Everett Miller. Everett is from Stillwater, Oklahoma. He has his bachelor's in English from Oklahoma State University and his Master of Divinity from Austin Presbyterian Theological Seminary. While in the School of Global Studies, Everett received the Roma's Scholarship. Everett is being presented with his certificate in Global Issues by Dr. Jamie Fullerton.
Okay, well, finally I get up here so we can get control of what's going on this afternoon. I really appreciate all of you being here. I have the best job in the world because I get to work with these guys every day. And then a new crop comes in. It's kind of like being a farmer. You know, you plant, and then they grow, and then they go away. And then a new crop comes, and that continues over and over. And every single group, every single class, you think, this is the best class we've ever had, and there's no way that we can go on without them, but somehow we manage, and we let you go out in the world and do what you need to do. I think it's important to also say that this particular group of students, while they've worked with Bailey just a little bit, their advisor, the person that recruited them and who mostly work with them on a day-to-day basis, is here with us today, and that is Miss Kara Eubanks. So, yay, Kara. Kara went on and is now working at the OSU Foundation, so get your checkbooks out. She'll be calling you soon. That's part of being an alumni and a proud tradition in the United States of philanthropy. Actually, the reason I'm up here, back to the script, is I get the pleasure of giving the Outstanding Student Award. Every semester we select one graduating student who we believe exemplifies the qualifications of the most outstanding student, such as a good GPA, service in the field, scholarly achievements, and a drive to think critically about global issues. This is always a tough decision because our students all make great grades. So we have to think who went over and above, who gave that extra effort, who really deserves to be named the outstanding student of the class of spring 2023. So I selected somebody. It's actually somebody that I managed to never have in class. Not only did he earn a master's degree in the School of Global Studies, but he also managed to squeeze in an investment and financial banking graduate certificate from the business school while he was here, all at the same time. He earned a 4 in all his global studies classes. He didn't have to take mine. And most days you can find this student in the Wes Watkins Center down in the Center for Global Trade Development, where he has accomplished many amazing research studies even outside of class. After graduation, he plans to work full-time at Raytheon, where he did intern last summer. So this year's outstanding student is Michael Johnson.
It's quite impromptu. Just just a quick thank you, obviously, to my family and the staff and faculty here, and a special shout out to the Center for International Trade Development with my director and mentor, Andrew Ranson, and all my coworkers back there. So honestly, it's been a great 2 years, and looking forward to seeing where it goes. So thank y'all.
So what have we learned? Future graduates, don't take classes with Dr. Fullerton. So as you've seen, our program, one of the things that is really truly special about this program is the number of international students that we have who bring a tremendous richness to our classes and to our program. Tonight we will have students graduate from 5 different nations. We are proud of all of our graduates, we truly are, but I really want to acknowledge those of you who took that extra level of risk to come to Oklahoma State University. You've made our program better by your presence here. We're grateful that you chose to invest a portion of your life here, and it's been better for us, and we hope it's been good for you. I want to commend all of the graduates for your commitment to your academic studies. You began this program during a period of global pandemic when uncertainty hung over every aspect of life. You started something really walking into the fog, not knowing what you were getting into. Some of you came from countries engaged in agonizing political and social change. And we know that trying to focus on your academic work while that's been going on in your home countries is not easy. When your nation is in uproar, it's not an easy task to focus on getting Dr. Brennan's papers in. But you have completed it, and you should be very, very proud of your accomplishments. All of us are living in a time in which the world is changing. You all will have a greater impact than we will because we're old, right? Because you're walking into the future. Some of us are old. You're walking into the future with your eyes wide open. You're more attuned to global challenges than your peers. You're more attuned to global challenges than most of the people around us. You are more aware of the potential and the challenges that we face. And it is our hope that your time with us has given you new ideas about how we might face those challenges. When you think about the larger trends we are in, over 1 billion people, over 10% of the global population has in recent years come out of absolute poverty. That's a great thing and something that we should be very proud of. However, there are also all kinds of other trends that are not so positive. Technology has changed everything, right, in ways that we don't even understand. Remember, Facebook was only introduced in 2004, not even 20 years ago. I did the calculation today. I was something like 30. I was old when Facebook came in, right? You guys grew up with it. Now Facebook is seen as an old person's medium. Back then it wasn't, right? But technology, recently we've been hearing about all the challenges that technology is going to bring. It's going to bring new opportunities. It's going to bring new challenges, and we don't understand all of them. We're in a time of global conflict, both internationally and within nations. We hope that your studies have given you insight into that to help bring peace. We're in a period of refugees. The Norwegian government last year said there are over 71 million people internally displaced around the world, plus those who are externally displaced, those who are outside their country. For those of you from Texas, right? That's 3 times the population of Texas. That's 12 times the population of Oklahoma who are internally displaced. This is a real challenge, and it's not going to go away. Political, economic, climate refugees is our future, and we have to address it. In the recent years, we've seen a global suspicion of democracy arise. And so our governments in many ways are being challenged at their very core by distrust, by suspicion, and by accusation and hatred of people who see things differently. This is something that we have to address. So my charge, and the nice thing about being dean is I can say whatever I want. My charge to you is that you move into your careers, you remember the places you have come from, you honor the opportunities you've been given, you continually sharpen your skills and your perspective, and you view the entire world as your responsibility. You will undoubtedly encounter all forms of good during your career, but you're also going to encounter evil. You're going to encounter people who will oppose you. You will be encouraged and you will be opposed at some point in your career, but you have the skills, you have the intelligence, and you have the means to succeed, not just in your career, but in some manner to begin to address the injustices, the inequities, and the wrongs in the world. Thank you all for being here today to honor and celebrate our Spring 23 graduates. To our graduates, we offer you our very best wishes as you make your way beyond Stillwater to make a difference in the world. We're grateful that you chose to invest a portion of your life with us, and we hope that the education you have received will serve you well as you move into the next stage. Please stay engaged with us. Tell us what you're doing and be an advocate for the School of Global Studies no matter where you go. We hope all of you will join us across the street at Gallagher-Iba Arena at 7 p.m. for the commencement ceremony. And then immediately after this, graduates, we ask you to meet right over here by the backdrop for some group photos. Thank you all for being here. Congratulations to our graduates.